I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul.
I like this, by the way.
I don't like it either.
No, I don't like it either. But the way that Joshua see it is as a money grab. He'll see it as an easy money grab, but at this stage of his career, is it a fight he should be taking? Nah.
Who finally put an end to this Jake Paul thing, right? If he goes out there and puts Jake Paul in the dirt, he's going to be heralded. He's going to be a hero.
Eddie Hearn recently reacted to Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua, and he didn't sound positive at all. The Matchroom promoter warned that Jake Paul is making the biggest mistake of his career by even considering a fight with the former unified heavyweight champion. Hearn says this isn't just another money event or Netflix show, this could end Jake Paul's boxing career completely. According to him, Joshua's power, experience, and size would overwhelm Paul, turning the fight from entertainment into a serious risk to Paul's safety.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitates a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh, well, it was Jake Paul. You know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ polacked him and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. As I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world...
Reports say Jake Paul is very close to finalizing a heavyweight fight with Anthony Joshua next month in Miami, set to stream worldwide on Netflix. This would be a massive jump for Paul, who has mostly fought non-elite opponents, while Joshua is a former two-time unified heavyweight champion who last fought in September 2024. Eddie Hearn confirmed that talks are happening. The fight was originally planned for later, but since Jake Paul vs. Tank Davis was cancelled, the timeline may move forward. Hearn explained the discussions are still early with nothing official yet. He also said Joshua's main goal is still another world title shot or a fight with Tyson Fury. While the Paul fight is possible, it is not their main priority. They want to rebuild Joshua toward a championship, not just create another big event.
Conversations with myself and Nikisa, I think Jake and AJ have spoke as well. You know, from our point of view, if we're going to have a run-out fight, why not run out against Jake Paul, you know, for a lot of money? So there's ongoing conversations there. I can't tell you it's close. I can't tell you we've seen a contract. But if he genuinely wants to fight Anthony Joshua, I don't see why we wouldn't have a chance to do that fight. But, you know, our focus is on really a charge for the World Heavyweight Championship and a charge at Tyson Fury. We can't control that either. So, like I said, that's why I said to you, absolutely at the moment.
Hearn further explained his worries about the potential Jake Paul vs. Joshua fight, saying the matchup is extremely one-sided. He highlighted the huge difference in size, power, and ring experience between them. Hearn believes the danger for Paul is very real, not exaggerated, and that the fight could seriously damage his career or end it entirely. He said that even if the matchup can make big money, the risk to Paul's health and future must be considered before going ahead.
But AJ, ever so quickly, I watched Jake Paul the weekend. I feel a bit dirty saying that because I'm not a fan of his, but he did say after the fight that he's sort of having DMs or he's dropping text messages to AJ. They're having a chat about a potential fight. What's your view on that, Eddie?
Well, look, he's calling out Gervonta Davis, who is a 135-pound lightweight, and he's calling out Anthony Joshua, that's a heavyweight monster. I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul. Hopefully not literally, but it's that dangerous that, you know, it's a fight that I don't think should really happen, if I'm honest. I would say about Jake Paul, and I've said this in a couple of interviews today, I do think you start after giving him a margin of respect. You know, I think this guy is going through the motions. He's putting the hard spars in. He just went 10 rounds with, yes, a washed-up fighter, but a former world champion that did train for that fight. But they're very clever in terms of the opponents that they pick. They're not going to gamble unless the money's out of control. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jake Paul, wanted to move forward with an Anthony Joshua fight. Honestly, AJ's coming tonight. He's not exactly looking at Jake Paul going, oh, that's my dream opponent. Would he go in there and give him a hiding for, a massive chunk of money? Probably. I'd be saying, yeah, go.
Mike Coppinger of The Ring also raised major concerns about the fight, saying Jake Paul seems to be chasing the payday more than a real sporting challenge. Coppinger reported that the deal is in advanced talks but still depends on broadcast decisions and sanctioning rules. He pointed out that Joshua is a massive step up in size, power, and skill for Paul, making the fight dangerous. There are also questions about whether the fight would be a professional match or an exhibition since no official rules or sanctioning details have been released. Coppinger suggests that while the event may happen because of its big commercial appeal, the risk to Paul's reputation and health is huge.
The breaking story on Ring Magazine: Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are finalizing a deal for a heavyweight fight on Netflix in December in Miami. Sources tell the Ring Magazine's Mike Coppinger. What do you make of that?
Well, Anthony Joshua is talking about wanting warm-up fights before going into bigger fights, but look, it's prize fighting at the end of the day, and the way that Joshua will see it, and Matchroom and all the team, the fans won't like this, by the way.
I don't like it.
No,
either.
I don't like it either. But the way that Joshua will see it is as a money grab. He'll see it as an easy money grab, but at this stage of his career, is it a fight he should be taking? Nah, definitely not.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be licensed because it's a really dangerous fight.
Do we know if it's an exhibition or a real fight?
We don't know yet, but I don't think they should be allowing Anthony Joshua in a ring with Jake Paul. It's dangerous for him.
It can't be a real fight, because if it's a real fight, Anthony Joshua would take Jake Paul's head clean off. So it can't be a real fight.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
I don't want to see a man decapitated in Miami
yeah.
in a ring in December.
Listen, and that's what will happen. So
many experienced boxing figures are strongly against the idea. Veteran heavyweight Derek Chisora has openly criticized the possibility of Jake Paul getting a WBC ranking from this fight, calling it disrespectful to the sport.
WBC have said they're going to give a cruiserweight ranking to the winner of this fight. Do you think they deserve one?
No, I don't think so. I don't know why. It's hard enough for real athletes, for real boxers to get those rankings. And then suddenly, this Solomon Souza decides to give double ranking because he's getting some greens in his, in his back pocket. No,
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. shared a different angle. He said the fight could happen if Joshua truly wants it, but only if it makes sense for him financially and competitively. Roy reminded everyone that Joshua is a real former world champion and said, "Did you see what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? The same thing happens to Jake Paul." He added that anyone who believes a part-time boxer can beat Joshua is crazy.
Change subjects just a little bit here, and Anthony Joshua, there's rumours circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. One, do you think it's good for boxing? And two, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he'd probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fight anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if you want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it.
Will Jake Paul become a world champion?
No.
Why?
I think if they make him fight tough opponents, guys with experience, those guys will beat him. Now, if you catch somebody like myself at the end of their career, or somebody like Tyson, he caught it in their career, the chances are much higher. Because now it becomes more of a 50-50. You got a guy who's better than him, but the age factor. You understand me? And that's the only way to balance it for him to make it a 50-50 fight. Yeah. Somebody who's on his level at the same age, those guys have too much experience. Yeah. You understand me? So he's not going to beat those guys. Yeah. But you find a guy who is past his prime, who has a mentality further than his, but past the prime, it kind of evens the stakes.
Leon Edwards also commented on the possible matchup, making it clear he supports Joshua. In an interview covered by MMA Fighting, Edwards said the fight heavily favors Joshua and would be a huge challenge for Paul. While the fight is still not confirmed, his comments echo what many in combat sports believe, that the matchup is a major mismatch because of the difference in experience and status.
Seen this fight's in the works, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. As a Brit, how do you evaluate?
I've just seen that. Someone just told me about that. That's mad. Fair play to Jake Paul, first of all, for taking it. But if AJ doesn't knock him out in like 1-2 rounds, then I feel like the fight must be fixed or something, because I'm going Anthony Joshua, obviously, for the KO. So yeah, when is it? You know?
It's going to be next month. They're working towards.
Oh yeah, sick. Yeah, I'm going AJ for the win.
Cheers.
Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane, it's hard to believe a year later that you're going to be in any condition to really, really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I want to say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're going to have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please with sugar on top. I'm interested.
What did you think about the fight, Jake Paul?
I hate it. And Jake Paul's starting to piss me off. Mike Tyson is 57 years old, man. Jake Paul been training with professional boxing trainers for years. He takes the sport very seriously.
Thank you. So let me ask you, that's the question I have, because great kid, great businessman, by the way, amazing. And I know how he does all this, the character and the persona. We keep saying that he doesn't want to be a boxer. He's not a boxer, but then
Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's a boxer.
He can fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting actual boxers. Now he decides to fight a fighter, a real fighter, which is Tyson. But Tyson is 30 years older. Stop this nonsense of going against dudes that either ain't boxing or